Close your eyes. Close your eyes.
The biggest race of the season, the highly anticipated Daytona 225 plays host to the sights and sounds of renewed hopes and dreams. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Eliza Bethel alongside Pete Ruzick for SnB's Cup Series presented by WoodyxCA. Pete, preparing for a new season, just how important is tonight's race as we look forward?
But see, I mean, opening up the season to make sure that you kick it off with the best possible momentum for the next several weeks is absolutely amazing. Very, very important. Everybody wants max points. They want to gain every spot they can, especially on a track where every move literally matters because you are playing chess for 200 miles. How are you, Eliza?
I'm doing great. How are you? It's been a while since we've been in the booth together, right?
Absolutely. Last time we did this was an open wheel series right here for Shake and Bake, and we finally get to do one for these great cup cars like we've seen for the last two seasons.
I know. I'm excited. We have these guys on track for qualifying at the moment. Let's take a look. We'll go on board with Andrew Sanford. He is out there in that number 37 Toyota machine. These guys, it's Daytona. You want to get towards the pole. You want to be up there. Some of these guys will have a different strategy. They're going to want to stay in the back, but I'll tell you what, Pete, I've talked to several drivers. So far, everyone wants to be in the front.
Absolutely. You're not in any kind of a huge hornet's nest. You're not trying to check up very, very quickly because you see something or your spotter yells, wreck, wreck, wreck. I mean, there's so much that you're avoiding just by being closer to the front, Eliza.
Absolutely. Thank you guys so much for the sub in there. I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. We have the officials out in race control helping us out. That's going to be a lock-on strata, so I appreciate them being out there. Let's take a look, see who is getting what lap times out here. Do we have anyone on the board yet, Pete?
No, not as of yet, but Matt O'Brien's out there, Brendan Book, Chuck Cody, Jeff Byers, Andrew Sanford, like you were just watching there, as well as Jeremy Kramer, Rivers Jones, and so many others. They're not just sitting back, Eliza. These guys aren't just saying, you know what, I'm going to start in the back. Everybody's going to go ahead, at least everybody, it looks like, is going to go ahead and throw a lap down and see exactly where they stand up for that coveted Daytona pole.
Absolutely. It'll be interesting to see
Nikolai
now.
Zach resubs for
Season
1 month.
1, we had Jimmy Cocker win the Daytona race. Season 2, we had Tom Flitcroft. So I'm kind of curious, who are we going to see for this season? Who's going to win tonight? What are your thoughts?
You know what? I was racing with a guy the other evening, and very, very close to you as part of your team, John Honeycutt. He was telling me, and I mean, putting himself on a spot, he said Daytona was going to belong to that Team FTR number 50 High Tech Securities Camaro.
We'll see what happens so far. O'Brien is on the board with the fastest lap, a 49.36. Sanford, it looks like he is right next to him, so extremely close times. No surprise here. We have Riley Rosenbrook. He is out there P3.01 behind, along with Harmon and Hamilton. We have Matthew Gale P6.02 behind, so that just goes to show you how quick these times are. You really want to nail the apron, get right on that line, and make the fastest way there. And take a look, FTR driver Jordan McGraw, he's out there 49.35, fastest time, and we still have a little bit of time left for qualifying, Pete. We'll see if anyone can improve that time. It looks like Tom Flitcroft does it.
Yeah, I tell you what, right now from 1st through 13th, back to Chuck Cody and Jeremy Kramer, all of them are within 1/10. I mean, that's like batting your eye, Eliza, and that's how close they are in these qualifying times. But Tom Flitcroft, like you just said, won last year. Oh, he just got bumped back to P2 by old Mr. Turley in the 97.
Yeah, take a look at that. These guys are just leapfrogging as far as time goes. We have Luke Allen in 3rd, Tom Flitcroft in 2nd. Joseph Turley goes out to the front, putting Jordan McGraw, who once upon a time was on pole. He sits P4 within the top 5, and Rivers Jones, he's out there P5.
Yeah, Rivers Jones P5. He's got Cody, Johnson, Harmon, O'Brien, and Sanford, guys that we're talking about week in and week out, all through season 1, all through season 2. The core group of drivers that continue to return here in the Shake and Bake iRacing Cup Series is absolutely phenomenal, and it's just been getting bigger and better.
Absolutely. You know, we have 11 teams registered tonight to race, so I'm kind of curious, who are the teams that are going to be on top? Dylan Robb kind of showing off, taking the big fan car straight to the wall. Very damaged. Luckily, the race isn't happening right now. No fast repairs, Pete. So that is going to be something that if you're going to wreck it, you might as well do it now while you can get a fresh car for the race.
That's right. Get it done now. Get it out of the way because, like you said, no fast repairs, which hopefully that means everybody's going to be on their P's and Q's all night long, really minding their track awareness, taking care of the drivers around them. Don't push the pusher. Come on back with one piece for max points.
Absolutely. Qualifying is over, and we do have Joseph Turley on the pole, so a huge congratulations to him. We were going to try to run the duels last week, but since the Daytona got postponed, we ran, instead of doing that, we let everyone watch that, and we're just going to do qualifying tonight, as you just saw. And now we are headed to the Daytona 225, presented by WoodyxCA, and speaking of that, you guys are out here, give him a follow. He does NASCAR Heat 5. He does Call of Duty. A lot of fun to watch. So give him a follow. Hang out there. We have Send and Rage out here. In chat, he says, check my back bumper, please. I will try to do so. Good luck to you drivers out there. Yeah, don't make too much of a mess of your cars.
Yeah, no, even though a lot of the people will say these cars drive like tanks, it's very hard to damage them. But it is very, very easy to break a toe link. It's very easy to lose a back bumper cover. It's very easy to get any slight bit of damage that will just eliminate you from being able to keep up with the draft and run those fast times that you'll need in order to be there at the end.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at this grid. On pole, we do have Joseph Turley and that number 97 machine. Beside him, we are going to have Andrew Wisdom in the 51. Row 2, we have Tom Flitcroft in the 8, along with James Holzer. He's going to be in the number 17. Row 3, we have Luke Allen in the number 7 machine with Jordan McGraw in the 34. In row 4, we have Rivers Jones in the 91 with Hunter Johnson in the 18 on the outside. Row 5, we have Thomas Harmon in the 68 with Matt O'Brien in the 43 machine on the outside.
The 11 looks like it's going to be the 61 Chevy for Micah Allard. Good to see him back with John Honeycutt. Riley Rosenbrook and Andrew Sanford is going to be row number 7. Row 8, talking about the 37, I'm sorry, the 9, rather, of Philip Bridgman, Jacob Locklear, Dylan Robb, Matt Gale, Brody Falker, Jeff Rivers. Sorry, it's kind of jumping a little bit for me. And, man, these guys, it's funny you listen to the team comms a little bit as well. Everybody's out there wishing each other luck, Eliza. How is that for camaraderie?
You know, I love this group that we have. Every year we get those rookies that turn into veterans and just a lot of camaraderie that goes along. And we had a really fun off season. I did a 6-week session that actually Tom Flitcroft came up with. So a lot of fun. We did different tracks, different cup cars and trucks and you name it. So a lot of fun. And it was just a time where we could all just hang out, race, and blow off some steam.
All right, there we go. I've got that all sorted out. So that top 12 that you've got up there, I said John Honeycutt was possibly going to go out. Well, he called his shot. He said that Daytona belonged to him, and the 39, he was pretty optimistic about his chances as well. And of course, talking about the one and only Jacob Palmer.
Absolutely. We're coming around the final corner here. Looks like, yeah, these guys are lined up, ready to go. Man, Daytona 225. I'm so excited. We've been looking forward to this so incredibly much. Man, a lot of drivers out here. These guys are getting ready to go. Turley is looking to make a nice run here. Let's get the green flag waving for the 225. Man, I'm tongue-tied.
I tell you what, a huge push on the outside. Looks like it's going to be the 17 of James Holzer shoving that Busch beer can, number 51 for Andrew Wisdom out there just a bit. It seems like they timed that perfectly. And oh, look at that. Oh, by the way, the guy that took the checkers last season first, right now sitting P3, of course, talking about the one and only Tom Flitcroft.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if you just caught that, but Andrew Wisdom got a little loose with James Holzer all over his bumper. We're going to talk about this a lot. You see these guys nose to tail. We're going to see Tom Flitcroft off just a little bit. You do not want to push the pusher. But talking to Pete earlier, he's saying, you know what? You can push these cars a little more now. And that high side, they have it rolling. You're going to see a lot of momentum on this high side. That's where you want to be early on in this race.
Absolutely, and any of the officials that I caught or I raced in through Daytona, Atlanta, and whatnot, you could definitely make more car contact than you've been able to in years past. The cars are just a little bit more forgiving, and not being an open setup, which means you don't have the ability to change much except for maybe your wheel ratio and brake bias and whatnot. The cars are pretty steady, but don't tempt to get to the left corner or the right corner, because you'll send them right to the wall or right to the infield.
See the top side kind of trying to do a side draft on that bottom line. They lost a little bit of momentum, but they're trying to gain that back. We're going to see these guys try to make that happen and gain back those spots. But, side drafting, it can be really tricky. That bottom groove, if they move off that line just a little bit, and you can see a little bit of trouble here with that 97. We'll have to see how he can hold on to it. But, man, he almost got left out to dry in that middle lane. So far, they're running clean. While we're talking about it, Pete, I want to take a look at the race analysis for Daytona. We're going to look at the pit window. It's going to be around 38 to 45 laps. Now, that's going to depend on, are you out front? You're going to be running closer to 38, and if you're saving in the back or mid-pack, and I'm talking really saving for fuel, you're going to run around 45 laps. Talked about this earlier, no fast repairs. You have damage, you have to repair it. So these guys have to be very methodical about the moves that they make and when they make them. As far as race length, 90 laps, and they will have 4 sets of those Goodyear tires.
Talking about the fuel and the 38 to 45 lap window, going through and wishing all the teams, whether new or coming back, good luck before each and every race, like I tried to do. Matt O'Brien, it's great to see him back after missing season number 2. He said, fuel strategy, yay! Like, he was not excited about it whatsoever. And you and I, we've seen a lot of fuel races over the off season, whether it was here or any other track that we were able to run together. It does really come into play. Am I a fuel racer? Absolutely not. I try to be as forward on that gas pedal as I possibly can. I don't have the patience just to lay back. It's all out for me, Eliza.
I know. I've been in a few races with you where fuel was a thing and you said, you know what? I'm not doing that strategy. I'm going full bore. So a lot of these guys feel that way, but I've heard from some drivers, if they have to, they will save the fuel that they need. And I know Thomas Harmon is going to be one of them. We're going to have a lot of these guys up front that may decide, if it comes down to it, I'm going to go to the back and save that fuel that I need.
So you look at the 51, he was up there leading right now. The 8 car of Tom Flickroft, he's leading. We're going to see a lot of different people get on up there, lead a lap, get the point for doing so, and then drop back. They know that they've got at least that 1 point in the bank, and then now they just got to be there at the end when it all really matters for the most.
34 get a nice push from that 18 of Hunter Johnson. The number 8 of Tom Flitcroft on the outside got a little loose earlier on with we had James Holzer pushing him. So these guys just very, very close together, playing it pretty safe. I'm pretty excited with how they are able to run this. It's been a couple of months since we've actually done this type of a race together. They look like they're having fun, and man, I'll tell you what, it makes me miss being out there on track, but it is so fun being back in the booth with you, Pete.
So it's a lot of fun to be with you as well. I said that before. After our open wheel time together for the Shake and Bake, I believe it was Indy or F1 series. It's been a little bit of a hiatus. Yeah, the Shake and Bake Cup Series ran season number 2, but there's nothing like having someone to bounce a full race conversation off of. And if I had to do with anybody, I'm glad that you're here because you just absolutely have so much to bring to the table. And as far as the 17 pushing the 8, the 17 of James Holzer, the 8 of Tom Flickroft, the 34 of Jordan McGraw, and a few others. They're actually good buddies, not only on track here in Shake and Bake, but outside of racing as well. They'll hang out on any night of the week and get some laps in hosted sessions or officials or whatever, and they will just cut up for hours. So these guys very, very comfortable around each other. They can almost predetermine what moves they're going to make on the track, even though they're not in the same team comms together.
Absolutely. Let's enjoy the sights and sounds of these guys driving around 190 miles per hour. Tell you what, Pete, the fastest pace laps you will see out there, and these guys are moving.
Oh, they're absolutely hauling. I mean, Jordan McGraw, even though he's out front, his best lap right now is a 45.88. Not many others. Maybe a 45.87 by Joe Turley in the back, or Riley Rosenbrook with the 76. But yeah, these guys pulling laps in the high 45, low 46 range, and they are all bumper to bumper.
Absolutely. You can see some of these guys are really starting to try to go single file line in the back of the pack. So I'm thinking they're saying, you know what? It is still early. It's lap 10 of 90. I want to save some fuel if I need to. There might be a caution. A lot of these guys are betting on it, but Jordan McGraw, he is out there in the lead taking full advantage of this. They do get a point for leading. They do get a point for most laps led. So that is something that they want to see out here. And we still got Holzer. He is still on the tail of Jordan, still pushing.
Yeah, it's kind of strange that the 8 and the 17, right along with Mike Allard, who they've been able to kind of get 1, 2, 3 with up on the high side, that they haven't been able to get on up there with J-Mac or I'm sorry, the 18 and whatnot. They haven't been able to get on up there on the high side, as it looks like the 50 of Honeycutt. He's going to go ahead and take the point up there, but they haven't been able to get on up there and make a bigger challenge. Wrapping the high side. That's really where most of the speed has been historically here at the super speedways.
Yeah, you see a lot of guys trying to test the waters here, going from the inside to the outside and back down, making another thought of it. But John Honeycutt leading the outside with Micah Allard directly behind him. So it's going to be very, very close. A little bit of wobbling and weaving, but they are starting to get that outside line formed. So I think we're going to see these guys up front close. Ooh, there we go. Another taker. Holzer wants to lead some laps here. So he's going to lead that high side. And look at the momentum that they have with those numbers. Great job by that outside.
I tell you what, I don't know if Honeycutt was getting a big old shot from Micah right there or not, but he absolutely had to get on a binder in order to allow the 17 on up. 17 saw the possibility as he cuts down right in front of Jordan McGraw on that 34, and that stacks up and makes the 18 as well as the 51 check up as well. Now the 50 again up on the high side with Micah right up his backside, and we got takers for pit road.
We do have takers for pit road. Lap 13 of 90. So these guys are going to short pit this. They are making the long haul for the rest of the way. They should have to make, I'm going to say, one more stop after this, or possibly 2. But yeah, I know that there would be at least 10 to 12 laps left over here. So that is a smart move by some of these guys. They will have to see if they can stick together, though. That's going to be a big thing.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because if they come out separate, one person takes 4 tires versus the 2. One person takes more fuel than they actually need just to get the tank full. It's gonna separate them, and then they're gonna come on out, and before they know it, they're gonna end up getting lapped.
And they are out, and they look like they made a fantastic pit stop for these drivers. Look at these guys, just really close together, so no problem with that. They will have the draft, and I think it's going to be a great call looking forward.
Yeah, I mean, they're what, 1 through, what do they got, about 7 cars here in this little group here. Looks like Brian Fizikemi in that number 78. He's got a little bit of a task trying to get caught up, but they are in one solid line. None of them are racing each other. They should be able to get on up there, or at least keep pace speed and not lose too much time. But these guys in the back, they're gonna have to get caught up pretty quick.
Absolutely. We'll see. Brian, he kind of worries me a little bit there because it is so easy to lose the draft once you are the final car. But as long as the driver in front of him, I do believe that is Matt Burgess. He, if he can drag that brake just a little bit, let off the gas, yeah, he's good to go. Now let's just hope he doesn't lose the pack in front of him. That's the tricky part. It's so easy to lose the pack here, but man, this front pack, they are still moving. Lap 15 of 90, and I know in Chapman, Thompson, thank you guys for tuning in. Everyone, you guys are awesome. Do they have spotters? If they want a spotter, they are more than welcome to use them. I know we have a ton of guys that take full advantage of that, so no problems with that. A lot of guys choose to.
And you know what, Eliza, season in and season out, there's one guy that I give a lot of credit to, and that's driver 67 in that Toyota, Matt Gale. The guy is across the pond over in England. They are 5 hours ahead. He has got season-long dedication to make sure that he is here every single week. So you figure, what time is it for us? 8:30, 8:45, something like that, 8:40. They are 5 hours ahead. So this guy is up in the wee hours over in England, turning laps here and shake and bake.
Absolutely. I love it when we have so many drivers from so many different places, and talking to him, he's such a down-to-earth guy. So it's really cool to have him here. And you can see him looking at the Avril Lavigne machine. I have driven behind that machine so many times, and she always looks so angry at me. I always joke, she looks like she wants to punch me. So right. We'll see what she does, but Thomas Harmon looking great out there. I know he was saying I am sick tonight. I feel awful, but I am going to be here.
Well, he could be sick, but isn't it interesting how you get in a car, whether real or virtual, and all of a sudden all those ailments, they kind of go away. If you've got the flu, if you've got a cold, whatever, because all your focus is on what you're doing. And right now, running 6 deep on the bottom line, trying to stay off the car in front of you, trying to save a little bit of gas, keeping up with everybody, meanwhile pushing and trying to make the best possible time, not to lose too much to the main pack. These guys are doing their thing, and I'm sure by the end of the night, he's going to be a little bit more tired, but he might feel just a little bit better.
Absolutely. We're on board with the 79 machine of Cody Kalinka. The biggest mover so far, gained 23 positions from where he started, currently sitting P10. Looking strong out there, and man, oh man, I just love that sound of the cars just going by. I'm so excited that NASCAR is back in real life. I'm excited that the league is back. It's a great race here at Daytona, lap 18 of 90. Still a lot of racing left. I want to check on this back pack. How we coming with these guys?
Well, looks like the 12. He's a good 5 second. Oh, no, actually, that's Matt Gale. Who's up front there? That's going to be the 18 of Hunter Johnson. He's a good 5 to 6 seconds behind Francis Hamilton in this little 3-car pack. Then there's a 2-car pack up ahead of them. So there's a little bit of a space between these guys, and it's really going to come down to possibly a caution or the rest of the cars coming on down pit road, which always seems to break them up just a little bit more.
Absolutely. And you come down pit road, you have to watch your speed. You have to make sure you come out together. There's so many different variables that determine how you're going to do for the remainder of the race. If you're coming out with an entire group, you're sitting solid. But if you mess up your pit road entry, if you miss your pit stall, whatever it may be, you're going to be by yourself, and that race just became extremely painful for the remainder of it. But these guys, so far hanging in there together, looking solid.
Yeah, absolutely. They're doing exactly what they need to do. Nobody's racing each other. They're just staying in line and pushing right along. Talk about a guy that's been in line and pushing and moving his way on up. How about that number 9 for Philip Bridgman, now up 15 spots to P number 3. He's been up on the high side, kind of getting down inside drafting some guys, which pulls the bottom car back just a little bit. He's been able to find a hole, and oh yeah, right at a podium spot right now.
Yeah, he is all over a 3-car pack, just pushing each other, trying to get away. That 1 car of Brody Falliker directly behind him, trying to make his way back up, maybe saving a little bit of fuel, see how long he can get it to last. But Tom Flitcroft in the lead, and I remind you, he is the winner of Season 2. He's looking to go back-to-back wins for the Daytona 225. But, man, single file line, I'll tell you what, I just saw Evan Knopp. He was in pit road by himself. I'm kind of curious. Will he have anyone to go with him? Right now, it looks like it's just him and 1 driver. Yeah, 3 drivers up ahead. Hopefully, he can get the draft, but it looks like he does not have it.
No, not at all. He's a little bit far back. They used to say with these things, or it might have been with the trucks, if you're within like a 3-second gap, you can try to possibly stay in somewhat of a line where their draft is and pull yourself up, but which is far from the way that these cup cars were when they first came out. You couldn't get more than 3 or 4 tenths back, and you would lose the draft if the draft ahead of you was that strong. As it looks like the 8 of Tom Flitcroft and company, they're coming on up. Evan Knopp's going a lap down.
They sure are. He will go down a lap as the field starts to pass him. He's going to stay on that high side. We have a driver reaching up to him right now. He's going to have to take the middle. That might make things a little interesting. That's going to be Brendan Book down the middle. Everything looks A-okay for these drivers. Not what Evan wants to see, but I guarantee there will be a caution at some point tonight. Stacko, what's up? I hope you are doing well out there. Stratus says 88 and 63 both had damage. The 63 clipped the 88. So that'll explain it. I did see Henson in pit road, and he still remains there.
How about our season 1 Daytona 500 or 200 winner, Jimmy Cocker in that number 11 Virginia Tech Hokies machine, sitting a little bit further back as well, right behind the 93 Pepsi machine, James Holzer and company, right in front of the 63 of Evan Knopp. He's a bit further back there than he probably wants to be as well, because again, if something should kick off, you can't see through these cars, Eliza. All you can hope for is that your spotter or one of the other 3 teammates that you have lets you know, hey, wreck, and you got to get on those binders as quick as you can. But when you're seeing smoke, you're trying to check up, but at the same token, Eliza, you can't just nail the brakes and hope that you don't get run into from behind.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, the first thing you see is going to be that smoke, and you don't know where it's going to happen. You can drive through the smoke and hope you don't hit anything, but like you said, I mean, all you're seeing is the back bumper of the driver in front of you. If you slam on your brakes, you're probably going to get rear end damage and possibly sardined with the guy in front of you. So not a pretty picture. Sometimes you just want to hang back a little bit to have that little insurance that you may be able to make your way out of it.
Eliza, it looks like most of the drivers that have come down pit road did it on lap number 12 or 13. And we're talking about from Hunter Johnson, Andrew Wisdom, Matt O'Brien on back, Kevin Dalator, Robert Holder, and Jeremy Kramer are a few exceptions. But it's kind of interesting. Aside from those guys, Tom Flickroft now has definitely led the most amount of laps. He has not even for once, pulled out and let somebody go on by, trying to save a little bit of fuel. It looks like he's kind of in this for the long haul. I think he wants that second trophy.
I think so. And I'm looking, Pete, we do have several packs throughout the track here. So we're on board with Hunter Johnson. He's sitting 26th position right now. And these guys were the first ones to go in, if you recall, around lap 13. So they do have the oldest tires, use the most fuel right now, but they are trying to stay in line. And that 51 got a little squirrely being behind Hunter Johnson. They are looking okay. I'm kind of curious how this is going to look, though, as we move forward. We have Andrew Wisdom in the 51, Matt O'Brien in the 43, Riley in the 86, Thomas Harmon in the 68, and looks like Matthew Gale in the 67.
Yeah, these guys, they haven't swapped positions at all. They are in the same exact position that they were in when they came off of pit road, 5 or 6 laps ago now, or it might even be more, but these laps are going by so fast. Would you believe that we are already just 3 laps away from being a third done, and it seems like this race just kicked off? These guys have been keeping it clean and green, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens when the drivers inside that main pack need to start, making moves to get on the pit road, because you don't want to try to go down pit road from the high side. You don't want to try to cut it. The bottom side, they've got to decide, all right, who's going to go high, who's going to go low. That way they don't rear end somebody when they're getting close to that commitment cone. There's so many games and so many strategies that you have to that you've got to put into play in order to make sure you've got a successful pit stop. But that main pack, they are all but hauling.
They sure are, and they're catching up to another pack right here. There's 3 of them directly in front of them, so we'll see. Are they going to choose to go around, or will they just tag along? They choose to go around. They're going to take that outside as the 78 of Brian Pizzakimi is going to hang down low, and these guys will try their best to make their way in the back of the pack. We have Matt Burgess out front leading that pack, and these guys are saying, I don't want any of that. We're going to try to get around and keep that momentum flowing.
Absolutely, and I'm surprised that I didn't see more cars behind the 12 peel on up into the main pack to try to be that first car 1 lap down. Because if a caution should happen to fly, you are the lucky dog recipient. You go ahead, pass the pace car, get back on the lead lap, and you're right back in the game. 8 cars still leading. 61 of Mike Allard, Philip Bridgman, Jordan McGraw, and Brody Falker, Eliza, are top 5.
They are the top 5, and man, I'll tell you what, that is a nice pack that they still have together. So I'm liking the odds of these guys hanging out together and keeping it. Now, the question is, when they go in, can they keep it that way? We're on lap 30 of 90, and if you recall, we can go anywhere from 38 to 45. I know these guys, there's no way that they are saving. So I'm thinking that in the next 10 or so laps, we're going to see these guys make a pit stop.
How about Brody Falker just now going to Plaid, posting the fastest lap of the race from P5 with a 45.31. We were talking earlier that they were like high 45, low 46s. This guy a low 45, and he's not saving at all. He's not back there just kind of pedaling, saving a little bit, getting ready, doing what he's got to do. No, that man is hard on the throttle.
Yeah, these guys are doing what you call hauling the mail. A lot of speed for them, and we have several groups throughout this track. I've said it once, I'll say it again. I'm very interested to see how this is going to work out, but there is another pack behind these guys that are looking to make their way up, and if they make their way back up there, that's going to really make things interesting.
We are back to 2 lines as the one of Brody Falker. He's getting that big old push from the 5 of Brendan Book on the high side, able to clear the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and for the first time in about 20 laps, we've got a new leader.
We have a new leader, Brody Falker. Brendan on the outside in that 5 machine. Brody trying to keep that 1 car in the first position, but Brendan, man, these guys just switching back and forth, just all that momentum on the high side, going for everything that they can, doing a terrific job out there. We have some teammates out on top. The 5, the 79 are teammates, and then on the bottom, they have Tom Flitcroft. He is also a teammate.
Yeah, Tom Flitcroft, all out of C Motorsports. Good to see Brendan Book back on track. And the 79, another one of those guys that I mentioned earlier that'll go out there with Holzer and Flitcroft and all those guys on any night of the week to really lay down some laps in all kinds of different officials and hosted groups and whatnot. Again, those guys know how to race. But Team FIWB, I believe for the first time this evening, they've got that blue Camaro in the front. Eliza, it's going to be interesting, and you kind of alluded to it just a little bit ago. Who is going to make their way on the pit road next? Getting down the pit road speed, very, very, very crucial. The way that you do it, the way that you don't lock them up, the way you don't spin out. Then you're carrying max speed down to your pit stall. Oh, by the way, when you get to your pit stall, you got to jam on the binders again. Don't slide past your flag, and you don't want to short it either to where all of a sudden you got to give it a little bit of gas and get up to your parking point. As we got Holzer in the wall.
Holzer into the wall. Let's take a look at that. That will. You hear my guys over the radio there. Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happened. 3 wide, and it looks like he's going to get hooked. He's going to take another driver with him to the wall. So unfortunate. The first caution here of the night. James Holzer involved along with a couple other guys. But man, oh man, such a great run. That's going to take the play out of when are we going to see these guys come in?
Yeah, pretty much. And they'll be able to do it very easily. But you know what? I've seen people short and I've seen people go long on their pit stall, even under caution. So, but that's going to take, that's going to be a little bit of a shot for the season 1 champ. Of course, talking about the 17 of James Holzer. So he's going to spend a little bit of time on pit road. I don't think he's going to lose a lap, depending on how much damage he's got to the front right of his machine, but we'll see. Everybody down the backstretch, and yeah, you can bet that Brody Falker, Tom Flitcroft, Allard, Bridgman, McGraw, and the rest of the top 10, or those that have not yet come on down pit road, will come down this time as we're all stacked up behind the pace car.
Absolutely. It does look like that James Holzer does have quite a bit of damage on his car, so he's most definitely going to have to repair that. Now, you're talking about pit road earlier on. These cars are notorious for being terrible at trying to get it woed down. You really have to have your braking zone a lot earlier than what you're wanting. So these guys, no problem with that anymore. But if this was going to be a green stop here, they would have had to definitely woe it down a lot sooner to make their pit stall. And, I've done it several times with my teammates where I'm saying, I'm going to go down to the wall. You stay up high. I got the guy behind me. He'll go in the middle and we'll just keep varying it so that we're not running into each other, getting speeding penalties and some damage. But this is going to change things up, Pete. Lap 36 of 90. I'm kind of curious. We're going to have some guys saving out here. This is now possibly turned into a fuel mileage race.
Yep, that's again, Matt O'Brien called it pre-race, and he's like me. He does not like those kind of races, as the 7 actually just went long in his box, bumping in a little bit to the back end of the 17 of James Holzer. You see the 34, Jordan McGraw, and all those back there. But we've got a race off pit road. It looks like it's going to be won by the 8 of Tom Flitcroft.
Yeah, we have a couple of battles as we're trying to get off of pit road here, but these guys are off and running. I'll tell you what. I do want to give a shout out to, I do want to give a shout out to Sinister Will. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it. Cookie Monster, what's up? How are you guys? Henson, I saw you out there. I'm so sorry that happened, and I don't believe that you were in the race anymore. So unfortunate to see. It's been a very clean race for the most part. You have a lot of drivers, a lot of personalities, a lot of different driving styles. But so far, it's been a very clean race.
Yeah, it's been all the different personalities, different drivers, different styles, different makes, manufacturers, different teams, and yet they've been able to put it all together for the most part. Very, very clean. Everybody kind of everybody's giving way. Nobody's being super aggressive that I've seen. Just this one little issue of the 7. I shouldn't say little because Holzer might take offense to that. But just this one issue, we'll say, of Holzer kind of getting hooked, getting up into the outside wall, and you gotta kind of be curious now, Eliza. All those that pit back on lap 12, they had to have come down. Unfortunately, this did not bode well for their strategy.
Yeah, it absolutely just wrecked their strategy, and a lot of those guys, some of them are included with the people that you're saying that don't want to save. They don't want the fuel strategy, so they were trying to avoid it, trying to pit early, make something happen with that. That has put a wrench into things. You see a couple of guys peel off, and they're trying to take that extra fuel. This is exactly what I would be doing. Fixing the damage, take the extra fuel. You are going to need it at this point. I have a feeling, though, Pete, 37 of 90, we are not done with the cautions yet.
No, I don't think we're done with the cautions. Everybody's racked and stacked back up. We're going to go back green here in just a little bit. Lights atop the pace car are out. It's going to be Tom Flitcroft and Philip Bridgman up on the high side. If this was any other track, the 8 is going to have the clear advantage by being the control car. He's going to go ahead and jump on that loud pedal and be gone. If we're at like Las Vegas or Homestead or somewhere else other than Daytona, Talladega, or Atlanta, because those tracks you don't want to get ahead, because all of a sudden that pack comes roaring on by and you're just you're kind of like the odd man out. So this is pretty stout front rows. Again, very, very impressed with Philip Bridgman and the efforts that he's made to bring that shake and bake number 9 with again up to the front. Kind of digging the old Casey Kane or Ray Evernham number 9 on the side as well.
Absolutely. And I do want to say a huge thank you to our sponsor, WoodyxCA. If you can, give him a follow. He does NASCAR Heat, Call of Duty. Go visit him, give him a follow, tell him I said hi. But a huge thank you to him, and hopefully he's out there. If he is, hello, Woody. Hope you're doing well. Man, oh man, I'm like you said, I'm liking that shake and bake car. It's looking good out there, but these guys are getting ready to go back to green, coming to lap 38 of 90. We'll see what happens here as they go back. And Tom, he's talking to his teammates. He's got one directly behind him. So he's saying, on my go, you better push me and push me hard.
Absolutely. Team FIWB number 1 up on the high side behind the 9. We're going back green, Eliza. Lap 38 is where we're doing it.
Back green, and we have Micah all over the back bumper, and Philip is able to squeeze in on the bottom side. Meanwhile, we are going to have, I'm pretty sure that's maybe Brody Falliker on that outside, falling back a little bit. And I'll tell you what, people on that high side are saying mission abort. We got to get down the low side. That high side is losing all momentum and they are fading fast.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure if maybe the one restarted in third or fourth gear or something happened and made everybody bail out from behind him, because that bottom line just absolutely took off. He's got the 333 as well as the 33 behind him, but he's got to hope that the rest of the field doesn't pass him on by. Here comes Jimmy Cocker in that number 31 Virginia Tech scheme up on the high side. He's going to pick up his team FIWB teammate and try to bring him back to the front.
Yeah, we have a couple more takers for that high side trying to squeeze in there, but man, that was a close call. We have the 79 of Cody Kalinka go right in front of that 11 car. That's going to give them the amount of cars needed to try to make their way up front, and they are already on the move. You can see the 50, the 84 for Team FTR. They are on that low side, that high side. They're going to try and do a little bit of side drafting. I find that if you do a little bit of side drafting into the corners, come out as you're coming out of the corner, and that momentum is just phenomenal.
Absolutely. Brendan Book up leading that high side with Cody Kalinka right up his trumpet, trying to get back up there. We saw the 5 really able to push very, very well. He was able to get, I believe it was the 8 or someone else up there earlier. At a little 50, Honeycutt getting a little squirrely, 84 right behind him. Great save by both drivers. Bottom side, top 4, staying right in line behind them. They're double wide for about 4 or 5 rows, and then it's just a long conga line back to last.
Absolutely. Look at these guys, single file line on that low line. We'll see how that fares for these guys. Jacob Palmer, you can see him up 18 positions, sitting P6 at the moment. So great movement from him. He's sitting on that low side in that 39 machine. All black. He says, I don't have my paint scheme ready yet, but I hope it'll be ready soon.
Yeah, Jacob Palmer, he's been running in a few different leagues, super speedway series, things like that. Been gaining that confidence that he needed to get on out here for this evening and try to get on up there. He is a super speedway series winner on a different evening in a different series, and so far Jacob Palmer trying to work his way to the front. It'll be interesting to see what kind of sponsorship he puts on that 39 as the season rolls on.
61 trying to keep that car cool as he is still pushing Thomas Flitcroft. I mean, these guys have been on it this entire time. Most of the time that we've seen them, they've been out front. So one thing we're going to have to watch, temperature. You cannot be on the back bumper of the driver in front of you. You will blow your engine. If you see your gauge turn red, you better back it off, because your car is telling you, I've had enough, I'm losing power, and I'm about to blow.
Absolutely. I remember seeing that last year, and I thought a car popped the right front, but no, it was somebody blowing the motor. If you see that red, you're lucky if you're able to back out or roll out of the throttle, because from what I've heard and what I've seen, as soon as that red comes up, if you're not Johnny on the spot, letting go of that loud pedal, your motor's going to pop and you're going to have an issue. We saw Brendan Book, lose a motor in practice.
Yeah, we did. I know 309 was the hottest I've seen it before it popped, but man, I'll tell you what, it is something that you most definitely have to watch. And I know some of the guys, we might see them back off later on in the race. You want to save that power. You want to save that temperature so that you have that momentum, that you can get everything you can out of that car to make that pass for the win. So they will have to cool their temperatures off, but Brendan Book all over the back bumper of that 50 machine. We have Tom Flitcroft still being pushed by the 61. That high side, they're making great grounds.
Absolutely, the 5 of Brendan Book pushing John Honeycutt in that Team FTR number 50 to the point, and caution's out.
See what happened here. I'm trying to figure out. Not getting anything just yet.
Yep, I didn't get anything either.
We'll see if we can.
Looks like Kevin Dalatory.
Go on board with him. See if we can't rewind that a little bit. Matthew Gale, these guys, that just looks like hard pushing. Yeah, under the apron, back up, and that's going to slice right into Matthew Gale in that 67. and unfortunate there for them.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to try to do your a hard shot. 92 straight into the outside wall, 67 absolutely nowhere to go. Oh man, that was Earnhardt-esque.
Yeah. I saw his hood fly off and then went back on. You can see his machine very broken up there. Probably, I would say, a couple-minute repair at the least. So we'll see what happens with him. But Robert Holder, he's still on the track. Shouldn't have any damage. A lot of these guys still making their way in. I'm curious, Pete, will we see them come in for fuel? Try to top off. But yeah, 44 of 90. We're coming into the range where they should be good if they come in for fuel.
Yeah, it looks like Brendan Book leading the entire procession down past commitment cone, bring it to the attention of their pit crews. If they had a spotter right here is where they're talking to them. Hey, 2 tires, 4 tires, just fuel. How much fuel do you want? What are we doing here? As we are now officially halfway through, Brendan Book fuel only and already on his way out.
There you go. We'll see if he is able to beat everyone in pit road. Very, very busy. It looks like Tom Flitcroft may have beat him out. He's going to be the leader. Brennan Book in second. Cody Kalinka in third. Micah in fourth. Jimmy Cocker in fifth. John Honeycutt right on the outside. P6. Jordan McGraw seventh. Phillip in eighth. Jeff Byers in ninth. And Jose Ruiz. We haven't talked a lot about him tonight. Sitting P10.
Yeah, Jose Ruiz in that Columbia number 23, keeping with the Columbia schemes. I'm kind of digging this one. The white fade back to blue, looking pretty good. How about, though, Cody Kalinka in that number 79 Chevy Camaro, up 30 spots on the evening. And I can honestly say I'm pretty sure it's going to be all through speed. I don't think he gained much at all through these cautions. That Hooters number 79 just been bad fast.
You know, he's one of the drivers that I'm really excited about. I know that he was frustrated with some of the races that he was in last season, and he just didn't seem like he was able to do as well as he wanted, or maybe got wrecked out. But man, I've seen him grow. I've seen him get faster, which is so cool to watch. And I love to see the progress for these drivers and what they're able to accomplish. So many drivers out there have done so much growing over the last season or two. It's been really fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was something I said a few times last season. You definitely see a marked improvement between the different or the varying skills that each of these drivers have for the varying types of tracks that we go to all season long, whether it's a super speedway, short track, intermediate, road course, whatever it's going to be. We're going to see comers and goers, but it's going to be very interesting to see, though, Eliza. This is just the first race, and we've got many weeks to go. I'm curious if we're going to see a brand new champion. The 17 of James Holzer was very strong season one rather. Season 2 saw Andrew Wisdom come on up and take that throne away. Will we see a third different champion, or will we see our first repeat?
Yeah, I'm very curious to find out, but 2 different champions and season 3, will we see another? Holzer claims to be part-time, so we'll see what happens with that, and will we see somebody different than Andrew Wisdom? But I'll tell you what, Pete, we just had a lot of drivers go back on to pit road, try to take more fuel, top her off, maybe fix some damage, but man, they were in and out pretty quick, so I would say they are just going for the fuel, trying to save what they can. But again, I will say 46 of 90, we're not done yet. The longer this race goes on, the more the aggressiveness will pick up. Guaranteed. That's just a guarantee. It's the Daytona 225. Everyone wants to win it. It's one of the biggest races, if not the biggest race of the season.
Absolutely. I mean, the 8 was extremely proud to win this last season, and even went on to win another race or 2 in season number 2. So this 8 was very strong all the way through last season. I'm curious to see, and I'm anxious to see just how strong he's going to be in this season. 79 of Kalinka right behind him. But how about Brendan Book in that National Guard machine to the outside, coming off turn 4? It's going to be interesting to see. just how fast these guys get up to speed, who does the pushing, who does the leading, and who gains more spots trying to take the lead away.
Yeah, teammates side by side. So I'm curious. We have Micah, who is behind Brendan, a heck of a pusher. And then we have Cody. All these top 4 guys are teammates. So we'll see if they try to work a deal where they can get out in front of one another, or they just might go for it all and keep it out there. But looks like Brendan, if he is available to go down, he could a second ago. But man, they're hanging up high.
Yeah, it sounds like or looks kind of like he's not going to leave his wingman. He's going to stay right up there with the 61 of Micah Allard. You got the 50 of John Honeycutt and more company up there. But behind Jose Ruiz, sitting P5 on the high side, there's a bit of a gap back to the next car. But those guys absolutely shoving 61, putting the 5 up at the point. And the 50 also able to find a hole down there, but that's going to leave the 61 and the 2-3 out to dry. And here comes the 8 up to the high side.
Man, he goes up to save a teammate. These guys are trying to make the high side work. Brendan bails on it and says, I'm hanging out low. He's going to have John Honeycutt push him while he's in the lead. Philip Bridgman, he has been out front so much tonight. Really cool to see all the different guys up here. Jimmy Cocker, also another one up here. Jacob Palmer, Jordan McGraw. So, man, these guys are just trading seats back and forth as far as the position goes. You see Philip Bridgman trying to hit that low side once again.
Yeah, Philip Bridgman underneath the 8 getting a little loose off the bumper of the 61. Able to save it, though. The 50 kind of owed one to the 5 of Brendan Book, so he got Brendan up to the lead, side by side behind the 50. You
can see these guys making their way. 49 of 90. Absolutely crazy. This race has gone by so fast, but man, it looks like a lot of fun. We're on board with Tom Flitcroft leading the high side. You can see the 79, the 9, the 50, and we have Brendan Book up front. Falling back, that is not a sight that you want to see. It is so easy to lose so many positions out there. You don't want to drop like a brick. It is so hard to gain it back, but yet so easy to lose.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what's going on between the 8 and the 61. The 8 just keeps getting loose off of Micah's pushes. It's causing the 23 of Jose Ruiz to check up time and again, and they've lost more and more spots as they try to come on back. Cody Kalinka says, you know what, I'll go ahead and I'll take the point. Let's see what we can do.
On board with Jose Ruiz, and he is right behind that 61 machine. I'll tell you what, Micah is a heck of a pusher. He is somebody where he knows just the right amount to push. Sometimes it might be a little too much, which is why you're going to see Tom get a little loose. But overall, he is a heck of a pusher. If you want to get out front, he's the one you want to be in front of.
Yeah, either him or the 5 of Brendan Book. Brendan Book still has the 50 of John Honeycutt right behind. 9 still third on the bottom. 79 now to the point, putting Hooters to the lead. He's going to go ahead and lead that one. How about Cody?
How about Cody to the lead on the inside in that Hooters machine? And you know I love that. If you know me, that orange and black looks so good. But man, what a phenomenal job. 32 positions gained for Cody. You'll love to see it. He's going to gain a point if he can lead this lap. He probably already has led a couple, I would assume. But man, he is looking solid out there. Brendan all over that back bumper. John Honeycutt saying, you know what? I'm not pushing it. I'm going to hang back, which is what you need to do. You don't want to push the pusher. So they are playing it safe, keeping it going in that low line. That line is long.
Yeah, that bottom side absolutely wrapping the trial. Well, you kind of touched on this earlier about the bad luck that the 79 of Cody Kalinka had last year when he was running more of the nationwide schemes. It seemed like he was getting wrapped up in so many other things that were not of his doing. It just like he found a horseshoe and it was already drum out of luck. So looks like this season so far running really, really strong. Like you said, up 32 points. 5 of Brendan Book trying to take the lead away, moving up, moving down, right back in front of him. Now the 8 up high, and he's recollected the 61 of Mike Allard.
Yeah, that 9 car was pushing John Honeycutt and getting his car a little upset. Kind of scary when you're in a long line like that, but everything is just fine. But that is something, if I'm getting pushed hard from someone behind me and I'm behind somebody else, I'm going over the radio and saying, ease off a little bit. I'm going to wreck the guy in front of me. We're going to have a big wreck here if you don't back off just a little bit. But I think Philip was taking it pretty easy on him, but it's something that you have to keep in mind at all times.
Man, I tell you, talk about C Motorsports. They got their game together for Daytona. 23 of Jose Ruiz kind of playing spoiler in the 1, 2, 3, 4 that they had just going on. Jose making a big dive down low, taking it to the point on the bottom. The 8 of Flickcroft getting a little loose. The 79 all over the back end of that 23 Columbia machine. Jose Ruiz going to the point.
Great move for him. Sitting P2 at the moment. These guys really mixing it up. You would think this is the final 5 laps. These guys just going at it. Looking solid, but man, oh man. The guys in the back are saying, you know what? You guys have at it. I know a wreck is going to happen, so I'm just going to hang out back here. You see guys like Jordan McGraw hanging back here. Jeff Byers, Jacob, Hunter Johnson, Jimmy Cocker in 11th. So these guys are starting to hang back. They don't want the mess.
Absolutely. The 51 of Andrew Wisdom, who was up there, led, and I believe got his point earlier. Right now, he's about 5th or 6th up on the high side, right in front of the 18 and that 333. But yeah, Jimmy Cocker, he's down on the bottom side, right in front of Jacob Palmer, Jordan McGraw, as you said back there. Brody Falker, wasn't too long ago, he was up here leading the procession around this 2.5-mile juggernaut of a super speedway. And right now, he's all the way back in P16.
Telling you, we got these guys. They are in save mode. They do not want another caution. They're hoping that the guys that are out front, they're going to waste that fuel. That's going to give the guys that are saving a little bit, that's going to give them the momentum to carry on, not have to make a pit stop, and hopefully win a race.
It's kind of interesting. Some of these guys are going along with what you're saying. Others that are making these big, bold, drastic moves to get to the point, whether on the high side or on the low side. Up front is where you're spending the most amount of fuel. You have no choice but to have that hammer down the entire time. Otherwise, you're going to cause an accordion wreck behind you because everybody else is going to have to check up, kind of like what you might see at a Martinsville or something like that, going into 1 and 2 for the first time.
Tom Flitcroft, our leader, playing both the high side and the low side, currently sitting in front of Jose, but going back and forth between teammate Micah and the bottom of Jose. He's kind of leading this entire field, doing what he needs to do. He wants to keep his teammate Micah up close, so I won't be surprised if we see him go up high once again to try to keep that momentum flowing for the high side. It's just all about communication between the team and what you're trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. Micah Allard up there on the high side. He's going to find a hole right in front of his C Motorsports teammate, the 5 of Brendan Book. That's going to leave, I believe that is Jeremy Kramer in that number 26 machine up on the high side all by his lonesome. And it looks like the 51 and the 333, they're going to take it 3 wide.
Contact between him and it looks like, I can't even see what number that is, but yeah, very, very close. They are currently sitting 3 wide, and we're going to have Jeremy on that high side, and that 333 of Jeff Byers in the middle. That was who the contact was between. Fine, and they make it out of it, but man, not a situation when you want to find yourself in. They're going to have to try to find a hole. You see Jeremy does. He makes it down. Now we just need Jeff.
Yeah, that 333 seemed like he needed a pretty wide berth. But the 26 able to get on by. Virginia Tech driver number 11 again for Jimmy Cocker is going to go ahead and close that hole, now keeping Jeff Byers all by his lonesome.
Yeah, a lot of communication between these guys. Hey, what do you want to do? Try to make it way in. Jeff is saying, please, anybody, let me in. I don't want to be on the outside. I'll be honest, Pete, I don't know how he's making his way still on that high side. I figured he would be dropping back really hard right about now, but he is still kind of keeping it even.
Yeah, right now, but coming off the turns, you see the 26 going to come on by. Here comes the 11. There you go. There's your answer, Eliza. Kind of moved on down just a little bit, grabbed a little bit of a side draft on a 2-6, pulled him back, and that made the 11 of Jimmy Cocker check up as well. And look at the triple three moving up to the number 9 car.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked about it earlier. If you can side draft that driver on the low side, going around the corners, go to the outside as you're coming out of the corner, and that will carry your momentum pretty darn well. But man, he's doing a phenomenal job for being by himself. That is a very lonely feeling when you're on your own little island. It is not a fun place to be.
I'm almost wondering if there aren't a few cars in this this bottom line, even though he's going to lose time. Caution number 3 is going to fly.
Rivers Jones, Riley, Rosenbrook, both crashed. Let's see if we can take a look. Find out what happened. A little bit of contact there. The 7 just gets into the 91, upsets his car, and off he goes, collects a couple of other drivers. Really unfortunate, yet another racing incident. You know, that's Daytona racing for you, but I don't want to jinx these drivers, Pete, but we have yet to see the big one, so I am thankful for that. There's 31 more laps to go.
So there's 31 more chances of that big one. Gotcha. Message received. But I believe everybody's going to come on down here, maybe take a set of lefts, top it off, especially if they were a little squirrely, and get ready for what could be a pretty good run. Man, these laps are absolutely clicking off.
I will say today is Hunter Johnson's birthday, so a big shout out to him. He kept telling me, take a look at my back bumper. Sorry, Hunter, I was doing different camera angles, and the closest camera is the far chase, so I couldn't see a thing. But a huge happy birthday to you, which I actually knew it was your birthday today. So happy birthday. I hope Daytona's treating you well.
Hunter Johnson, one of the actual real racers in the Shake and Bake series, and getting ready to run. I believe I saw in Alabama. So definitely wish you the best of luck, Hunter, at everything that you're doing in the next week or week and a half. I'm sure it's gonna be a great night. I'm sure you'll have great success, and we're looking forward to cheering you on.
Absolutely, check him out. He is an actual driver, as Pete said, does a great job. But yeah, out there in the 18 machine, that paint scheme, I really do like that. That thing is looking solid. Another shout out to our sponsor, WoodyxCA. Give him a follow. Check out his streams. He does NASCAR Heat 5 and he does a Call of Duty. Tell him I say hey when you visit him.
Good old Woody. I tell you, guys has been around for years and years. Trying to build up more and more on his Twitch channel, and it really is a hell of a content creator. A lot of fun to watch, a lot of fun to interact with. You're missing out. Go on over, give him a follow, tell him we both said hey, and maybe you'll root him on to victory lane next time he races.
Absolutely. Well, we were just talking about Hunter. It is his birthday, and he comes out of pit road in the lead. So we're going to have Micah directly behind him. He's going to be P2. We're going to have Cody Kalinka in 3rd. Brendan Book in 4th. Tom Flitcroft, he's going to round out the top 5.
Absolutely. John Honeycutt in that Team FTR number 50. Chevrolet is going to be P6. Philip Bridgman, the guy who's been up front all night long, going to restart P7. P8 is going to be the one and only J-Mac. Jordan McGraw in his Genesis machine. God, he brings back memories every time I see him race. We got the triple three of Jeff Byers, who is making hay up on that high side by using the side draft all the way through, and round out the top 10, Virginia Tech driver number 11, Jimmy Cocker. I keep wanting to say 31, Eliza. He's throwing me off for this season.
I know. As soon as he told me he was changing his number, I'm like, that's going to take a second to get used to.
Yeah.
We have Jacob Palmer in 11th in that 39 machine. Jeremy Kramer, he's going to be 12th. Joseph Turley in 13th. Jose Ruiz in 14th. And Matt O'Brien. I've said this for so many seasons. I'll tell you what, this guy, he's silent, but he always makes his way up to the front of the field when it matters most. So don't count him out, along with several others, but I guarantee we'll see him up front. Right now, he's playing strategy.
You know, I've seen over the last couple of seasons, some guys come, some guys go. I actually was surprised when Matt O'Brien was not able to finish up season number 2, because he is one of those drivers that brings so much action and so much attention to the races. So I'm glad to see he's back in the famed Kings number 43. Welcome back, Matt. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Easy
Matt
for you to
O'Brien.
say.
I'll get this right one time, I promise you. Yeah, welcome back, Matt.
Oh my gosh. I want to give a shout out to Papa Bear. He is out there in chat. He is also race control, spending his Monday night helping out SnB. So much love to you. Thank you so much. And Woody, yeah, these guys are having some great racing. A few cautions. Nothing to be crazy. It's nothing crazy going on here at Daytona. No big one yet. Knock on wood, guys. Knock on wood. We're going to need it because race isn't over yet. These guys are ready to go back to green. That is 2 long lines, 62 of 90. We're going to be heading to 63 as we head back to green.
Yep, Hunter Johnson, he's going to get that birthday gift and you'll be able to stab that throttle first. Micah Allard to his outside. Cody Kalinga, Brendan Book, and John Honeycutt. Some names that we've talked about all night long. Pace car is pulling off, making that left turn towards Albuquerque. Eliza, we're going back green.
Ready, green.
We're going back green. Here we go. Hunter Johnson gets a nice run. He's got Cody Kalinka behind him, but not able to get that run like he wanted. Micah, we're trading paint over here, making moves. He goes down to the bottom as soon as he can. Brendan Book is going to have to push the 18 machine. Cody Kalinka on the inside. He's going to be pushing Micah.
Boy, that was super aggressive for the 61 to dive low that quick. But Matt, I tell you, that 5, he's one hell of a steady pusher. Is the 18? The 18's not going to have the time to come on down and bring the block for that National Guard number 5. Now the 50 of John Honeycutt, he's getting a little squirrely off the bumper of the 34 of Jordan McGraw. 18 blocking the high side.
These guys are making me so nervous. Look at the wiggles from this high side. You put a little bit too much pressure on that bumper, you have to make sure that you are dead even with their bumper. If you're too much on the right or too much on the left, that is gonna upset their car and you're gonna see them get really loose, and it is really hard to woe it down at Daytona when you have so much traffic behind you. But these guys did a phenomenal job keeping it all together. Now we just have to get that momentum back.
Absolutely. They're side by side from about P3 on back. 18 making a whole lot of hay with the 50 of John Honeycutt just shoving him for all he's worth. 61 getting a little loose, and that wasn't off of the 79 of Cody Kalinka. Not quite sure what happened there, but high side able to take the lead.
I'm telling you what, they are just cruising for a caution right now. These guys all over back and forth. 26 laps to go. Still plenty of racing. No fast repair, guys. And here we go. The 34 gets loose, turns all the way, and somehow, some way, he saves it. Don't ask me how.
No, I'm not going to ask because I know I could not have done it myself. But great heads-up driving by everybody here in the last third or last 2/3 of the pack. Big job by everybody. Great hands, great track awareness.
I wish I could rewind that, but they are not giving me any type of way to do that. But man, what a save by Jordan McGraw on that FTR machine. Absolutely incredible. But these guys are still running. We have Jeremy Kramer in 4th, Hunter Johnson in 3rd. Take a look at who's leading. None other but our season 1 Daytona winner, Jimmy Cocker.
Yeah, Jimmy Cocker in that Virginia Tech colored number 11. You won't hear me say that. Here comes that 31 all season long again. Nope, he's going to go ahead and throw me off. Thanks a lot, Jimmy Cocker. Tom Flitcroft, though, in that number 8. Also the guy that's been inside. It seems like the top 3 all night long. Right behind that 11.
Huge wreck mid-pack. And these guys, that is going to gather a lot of drivers. Jose, we have Evan, Cody, Luke, Jordan. A lot of drivers connected in this one.
There's the big one, Eliza. You asked for it.
I
Sorry,
didn't
Woody.
want it.
He asked for it.
I didn't want it, but here we go. Let's see if we can find out where that was. We're gonna rewind that.
That was
Tell you
from
what,
top
sometimes you
7
can
on
nail it
back.
with this software, and other times it's just like we don't want to go there.
Yep. That was from
Yeah,
about
the
P7
7.
on back.
Yeah, that was tough. At least 5-6 cars there. 23 going through the grass. We have Jeff Byers on that high side. You see Francis Hamilton on the low side. Thomas Harmon has got some damage through that, so that is going to be yet another caution.
Yeah, so 4th caution on the evening. Eliza, you said it before, kind of everything is ramped up. The laps are coming down. There's 24 to go right now, and elbows up, attention. I mean, everybody is now on full send mode. So we'll have to see how the rest of this pans out. But definitely some cars were just, man, heavily damaged and all that.
A lot of takers for pit road. Jimmy Cocker, Tom Flitcroft, and the top 7 drivers stay out, but we have 8 and below. They make their way into pit road. I don't know if it's going to be for fuel and damage repair, but a lot of these guys, you see them missing their front ends, unfortunately. So a lot of repairs for some of these drivers.
Yeah, Matt O'Brien looking at the back end of him. It looks like he backed up into a telephone pole in that advent number 43. Looks like the 68 Avril Lavigne machine. It's also on pit road. 61 of Micah Allard, just kind of sitting in his pit box. Not quite sure if he got any real damage in that or not, but kind of an extended stay for a lot of these drivers.
Absolutely. You know, it's tough. It's Daytona. It's a lot of luck here. You gotta try to play it safe. You don't want to lose the draft, but you want to be in the back of the front pack and hope that when they wreck, you're not involved. But man, I'll tell you what, that front was okay, but it was mid-pack that just absolutely collided and exploded into a bunch of debris there. So really unfortunate to see. 23 laps to go, and as I said, I think we're going to see the aggressiveness really ramp up, especially for these drivers that had damage and they want to make their way back through the field. But you got to be methodical about it, Pete. You're making all these crazy moves. That's just going to cause more damage, more cautions. You got to bring home that race car. If you don't bring it home, you have nothing. So you have to take care of your machine.
Absolutely, yeah, you really do. And you've got to kind of, when you're in the front or in the middle, even closer to the back, if you're making big, bold moves that are catching people by surprise, you're making them react. And whether it's a correct reaction or it's false, or maybe just a little bit of a whoa on the throttle pedal, or maybe a little tap on the brake, that could also cause a big problem. That could also cause another big one. So you got to be very, very gentle with your moves. You don't want to startle everybody else that's behind you or around you.
Micah, Evan, Brody, Thomas Harmon, all coming off of pit lane. Back onto the track, Jordan McGraw still in pit lane. And I'll tell you what, a lot of damage for these drivers. Just absolutely crazy with how much damage was incurred on that one. But these top drivers looking okay. We have Jimmy Cocker, Tom Flitcroft, Hunter Johnson, Jacob Palmer, Jeremy Kramer, John Honeycutt, Matt Burgess, Andrew Wisdom, Joe Berg, and Jose Ruiz. They're going to be your top 10.
Yeah, Jose Ruiz, he had to take it through the grass, but able to avoid all that and did a great job at doing just that. Charles Kramer, Jacob Locklear is going to round out the top 12. Pace car right now on the backstretch, it looks like, and everybody is lined up behind him. Andrew Sanford, Chuck Cody, Andrew Zatt, Robert Holder, Dylan Robb, Brendan Book, and Philip Bridgman to round out the top 20. Behind those guys, some other cars just now coming off pit road, trying to fix up as much damage as they could before they go back green.
Yeah, we still have a couple of drivers on pit lane, unfortunately, but these guys ready to go back to green. And Woody, thank you so much for the subs. I appreciate it. He gifted 10 subs. Absolutely insane. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. You guys show him some love if you got a sub from him. That's freaking awesome.
Yeah, and while you're watching, go on over, click on Woody's name, WoodyxCA. That'll bring you right to his Twitch channel. Hit the follow button, hit the subscribe if you can, re-gift it right back to him, and then come on back for the closing laps here at Daytona.
See if we can't. There you go. There's an easy link to it if you can. We're back to green, Pete. Huge start for Jimmy, and it looks like Hunter Johnson. Kind of an interesting start. I'm thinking someone did not go.
Yeah, somebody didn't go, maybe restarted again in the wrong gear, and that completely bottled up the bottom line and allowed the top 4, top 5 up on the high side to be clear to the bottom. So Jimmy Cocker, Hunter Johnson, Tom Flitcroft right now, the top 3. Tom Flitcroft started P3 in that number 8. Guess what? Running right now, P3.
Gets very interesting starting P11th. We go double wide here. We have Jose leading the outside. We're going to have the 6th car of Charles Kramer directly behind him. Up front, we're going to go 2 wide too. So this high side is most definitely on the run. Things are going to really start to get interesting. And man, it's going to get very exciting. I'm a little nervous though, Pete.
Yeah, we got our first 2 season Daytona winners right now, running 1st and 2nd, with John Honeycutt in that high-tech securities, number 50 for Team FTR on the bottom, pushing Jimmy Cocker down the backstretch on the bottom side. But oh, here comes the high side one more time. The 8's going to be clear, and yes, ditching Andrew Wisdom in that push, number 51, to take the lead again.
Bold move by Tom Flitcroft. He's going to park it right in front of the 11, and we have a yellow once again. Rivers Jones, it looks like he is involved. Let's take a look, see if we can find out what happened. Nope, they're not going to show it. Let's try to take another look here. There we go. A couple of guys just randomly lose it. Very interesting. We have the 91. We have a couple of drivers in front of him.
I wonder if maybe a little bit of neck code or something, right? That is really strange for it to just kick sideways right there.
Very interesting. Let's take one more look, see if we can get a better grasp of what might have happened.
He bounced off the back end of that number 97 Best Buy machine.
Yeah.
And just sent him up track.
A little check up there, it looks like, by the blue car in front of him, and he had nowhere to go but check up, and off we go. River Jones hits him, and yeah, a couple of cars included on that one. All right, Pete.
A couple more cars with a bit of damage.
I know. Wait,
what you got,
how many cautions are we on here? Let's see.
This, I believe, is
5th.
5. Yep, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, 5th cautions. 5th caution. 19 to go. Tom Flitcroft has been up here, and I'll tell you what. I've heard a couple little birdies tell me that he is ready to claim victory once again. This would be back-to-back for him. Who do you have to win tonight, Pete?
You know, I still got to stick with the guy that I picked in the very beginning, the 50 of John Honeycutt. I raced with him in another series, and he said that Daytona was going to belong to Team FTR in his high-tech securities Camaro. I can't count out John. The guy is just really, really strong every single week. But there's just something about plate racing that fits right in with Honeycutt.
You know, he's had a lot of good strategies with the leagues that you were talking about that we've raced with him in.
Yep.
You know, I'm all for it. He's FTR, which is my team. So, hey, if we can get him into victory lane, I'm all about it. So, I think a lot of these guys up front have a great chance. Tom, I mean, we're looking at last season's winner. So, he's a great choice. Jimmy Cocker was season 1 winner. So, he's a great choice. Andrew Wisdom, he's champion. He won the championship last season, so don't count him out either. A lot of these guys are looking really good to make their way, and as I say that, looks like Tom Flitcroft peeled off and went down pit. No, he didn't. He's just playing.
he went through the 24-hour inner loop. There you go.
All right. No big deal. He's like, let's do the road course.
Good old Tom, keeping things light, being entertained.
It's been a
Oh,
long
wow.
time waiting for the Daytona 225. While we're looking at this, let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule. Next week, we're going to have Las Vegas, 120 laps there. A very fun track, but it can be a little slippery, so we'll see how the drivers can handle it. In 2 weeks, we're going to have Bristol, 225 laps, so that's going to be definitely a challenge for these drivers. Right after that, we're going to have Coda, which, man, I'll tell you what, that is a brutal track to try to maneuver around with these cars. They don't have great braking, and it can be a definite challenge. So I'm excited. A 16-week season, a lot shorter than what we've seen, but we have some great racing.
Yeah, talk about Coda. If it's like it's been in the past, everybody is just showing up saying, okay, who's running second to Andrew Wisdom? The man is just lights out on road courses, but as he proved last season, he's improved his oval skills or talents as well. The driver 51 right now sitting P3 on the bottom. He's come to work his way back up to the front where he was earlier. This 51 could be the not so sleepy sleeper.
We'll see. We're about to go green right here, but I'll tell you what, these guys still got a lot of racing left. You can't go crazy all out right now. You see the drivers, some of these guys are no longer in the race. You have to save that car. So hopefully these guys will kind of tune down the aggressiveness and play it safe. Let it roll, let it eat. And the last couple of laps, take it 3 wide if you want, but make sure your car gets there first.
Yeah, you can take it 3 wide, but you also got to remember that Daytona is definitely nowhere near as wide as Talladega. 3 wide at Daytona, no issue. Everybody's holding their line. They're good to go. Daytona, you can do it. If the guy on the bottom, he's painting that yellow line. The guy in the middle, right around where Jimmy Cocker is, he's got his right sides on that black line, right on that seam. And the guy all the way up high, if he can manage his car in his space without hitting that wall, you can do it. But it's definitely very, very tight quarters. Coming off of turn number 4, Eliza, these guys getting into the trial wall. Pace car's going to go ahead and make that hard left. We are going back green with 16 laps remaining in the Season 3 opener here for Shake and Bake.
Jacob, you tuned in. A great time to follow. These guys are back green. Coming to 16 laps to go. Thomas Flitcroft's going to lead us the field. And Jimmy Cocker, he's going to be on the outside. Tom goes up high. Kind of leaves that 51 of Andrew Wisdom out to dry. So looks like Honeycutt going to try to take the inside. These guys are off and running, Pete.
Yeah, Daytona champ up high, 50 of John Honeycutt down low. He's going to bring the 51 of Andrew Wisdom right with him. Or is Wisdom going to go ahead and abandon that campaign, get up high with the seasoned vets?
Ooh.
Here they go, 50 losing positions.
Man, a huge hit. We had a couple of these drivers making a huge hit behind him. It looks like maybe Jose into that 51 car. That was a big bump, getting that momentum going. He's saying, giddy up, let's go. We got places to be. So this low line definitely on the move. The high line needs that momentum. They're kind of falling back a little bit, trying to get that together. A couple of other guys go up high, trying to make it work.
Yeah, the 18 of Hunter Johnson, he actually threaded the needle, went in between the 50 and I believe it was the 51 at the time, took that spot away. Now Hunter Johnson up on the high side, pulling even with Andrew Wisdom. A little bit of side draft, which is going to allow that line to progress even a little bit more. Side by side for P3.
Yeah, let's take a look on board with Hunter Johnson. You can see Honeycutt making a big push, trying to get this line moving. He is aggressive. He will get you going there. But man, look at that low side, that 51 falling back. He gets a nice shove. That's going to get him a little upset with his car. They are moving, but that high side got the momentum. 50 goes down, the 39 goes down. These guys are making some moves.
I tell you what, Jacob Palmer in that 39. I mentioned it earlier in another season's Super Speedway Series. He's been very, very strong. Got a couple wins right there with the 50. Those two have been in each other's ear as spotter for a few races. Now that 50 on the bottom side, got the 39 of Jacob Palmer, 2-6 to the outside. That number 93 Pepsi Machine sitting third, and 18 Hunter Johnson all over the back end of Tom Flitcroft.
Tell you what, a close call for Robert Holder. He got very, very loose, had to make his way to the high side and backed way off. He has lost several spots. In fact, I can't even find where he ended up. 31st possibly. So very interesting. Kind of wondering if that was him. We'll have to take a look at that. But John Honeycutt in third, Tom Flitcroft. This man is determined to win this thing, bring it home. He makes his way in front of Hunter Johnson. A lot of aggressive moves with 13 laps to go. This makes me very nervous. You gotta bring that car home, guys. I keep saying it, but we have Hunter Johnson on the inside leading, Tom on the outside.
Yeah, Francis Hamilton, that number 48, he's starting to make his presence known right behind the 50 of Honeycutt and then right in front of the 39 of Jacob Palmer. So some FIWB cars coming back to the front. A little bit of an issue in the middle. Did they save it? Looks like so far, no cautions. 12 laps to go.
Pete, how in the world did these guys save that one? Thomas Harmon looked completely sideways. Great save by him. We're still off and going, but you know he is not happy right now. That is not what he wants to see with 12 laps to go. The aggressiveness is definitely peaking here. We haven't seen the height of it yet, though. It is going to get higher with each and every lap. The question is, who's going to survive it? Who's going to bring it home? And Hooter Gaming, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Hope you're doing well.
Yeah, I tell you what, the 68 of Harmon, you know, we joke every now and then about Avril Lavigne on the backside, of course on the hood and whatnot, and how on the trunk lid it looks like she's got a fist in the air. Sometimes I wonder if there's not a finger protruding from that fist, depending on how hard you push that car. But he can be aggressive when he has to, but right now he is way behind the pack.
Yeah, so unfortunate he has lost that pack. You know he's not happy. This is not the start he wants to see here this season. He does not feel well tonight, so that is not helping. But luckily, there's 15 other races to go, and he is extremely talented, so I'm not too worried about him just yet.
No, I'm not worried about him at all. He's gonna put Avril Lavigne in victory lane at least twice this season. I'm gonna call that right now. But up front, how about the 8, the 5, and the 18? Tom Flitcroft, Brendan Book, Hunter Johnson, Joe Berg coming to the front in his number 93 as they go up high to block. 8 cars, putting that Pepsi Machine into the wall. A couple scrapes there. John Honeycutt, nowhere to go, had to check up. 18 down low. 50's gonna go ahead and drop down as well. Andrew Wisdom right in tow.
And these guys just cutting it so extremely close, but how about that? Evan Knopp out here in 11th, 20 positions gained. And if you recall, he was involved in not one, but I believe 2 wrecks and cautions. So great comeback for him, sitting P11.
Yeah, Evan Knopp has really been honing his craft, and you know, pretty much it seems like he races every single night of the week. So the man can pilot just about anything that he gets behind. The 50 of John Honeycutt goes up to pick up Berg. So that's going to put John Honeycutt on the outside. 8-5, 18-51. A very fast foursome as we got 9 laps to go.
9 laps to go, and we have a definite separation of these packs after that earlier incident. Looks like the top 12, I would say, are in this front pack, and then we're gonna have the next pack, which is led by FTR driver Jacob Locklear. He's got Micah Allard directly behind him, trying to make his way back up there, along with Jimmy Cocker, Matt O'Brien, and Jose. So very strong drivers. We just need to get them back up there with 8 laps left to go.
Well, with them all being in single file, they're actually putting Tom Harmon in that 68 Avril Lavigne Camaro
Wreck.
lap down.
Hunter Johnson involved in this one. Yeah.
And the 9's involved. So is a couple of others.
Man, so hard to see on that one. That one might be the big one. Let's take a look as these drivers are coming around. The 18. See what happens with him. Gets a push. The 17 pushes the 93. The 93 pushes the 18. They try to go on the outside of a driver. I'm kind of curious. I kind of want to back that up a little bit.
Yeah, that 18, he was pretty much the ping pong ball for that entire ride.
Oh, yeah, he got turned right into him. Nowhere to go. Off they go. A lot of drivers involved in that one.
Yeah, and the 7th stayed about as high as he could. Just bad timing for a shot.
Cloudy, thank you so much for the follow. I appreciate it. Man, oh man. 7 laps to go. These guys, are we going to have a clean car on the track, Pete?
The guys that have stayed up front all night long, we talked about it during qualifying and whatnot, who was going to want to be where. And I tell you, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, he's kept it up front. James Holzer, he's making up a whole bunch of points right now, showing in P number 2. Joe Berg, though, in that number 93 Pepsi machine, which I asked you earlier, is this the Pepsi car that Jeff Gordon ran at Talladega when he got pelted by cans when he passed Dale Earnhardt's win total? I think this is. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure.
Chat, you'll have to help us out. Is that indeed the car? You see a lot of drivers making their way onto pit lane. Man, tough break for these drivers. I'll tell you what. 6 laps to go. James Holzer somehow makes his way back out front after his involvement in an earlier caution. The race is never over until you actually cross that line. So many different things can happen and you can make your way back up. On the other hand, it can be the opposite where you're out front in the final lap and chaos happens and you find yourself with a wrecked car that you have to tow in. So let's hope. I'm going to knock on some wood, but these guys, man, first race of the season, they're getting aggressive, Pete.
Oh yeah, they've been aggressive since past 45 to go. You know, taking runs up high and slowing them down, dropping low to pick up the run down there, and really just causing a chain reaction all the way back. We've seen it cause some issues already in the past. I tell you what, James Holzer in P2, that Camaro of his actually looks really, really good. So I'm surprised after that contact that he made with the outside wall very early in this race. I would believe it was right around lap 12, if I'm not mistaken. So Holzer, you know, season 1 champ, back to try to salvage the best possible position he can with 5 laps to go.
Tell you what, we have over 10 drivers still on pit lane. Not a sight that you want to see. So we'll see if we can get these guys, but take a look. Pit road is extremely busy. Guys repairing their vehicles, that was the big one. Hopefully the only big one that we're going to see for the remainder of the night. Coming to 5 laps to go. It's going to get even more wild than what we've seen so far, I'm afraid.
Yeah, lights top the pace car are still on. Joe Berg kind of keeping pace right there with him. Nobody else going to come on down pit road. Everybody's good on fuel. Everybody's got the tires that they're going to have for this finish. So we're going to have, 4 to go, give or take. So it'll be interesting to see how this all shakes up and what the aggression level is going to be like. Who's going to go where in order to try to claim the first checkers of the season.
Drivers pulling off a pit road. Most of them are back on track. We have a couple of guys who are not. Jordan McGraw being one of them. Joseph Turley, Jeremy Kramer, and Kevin Delator, who I'm pretty sure these guys have been on there for a long time. I'm looking at times around 49 minutes, 24:16. So not a fun start of the season for these guys.
Not a fun start at all, but I tell you, you gotta really appreciate the tenacity of that 17 of James Holzer to come on back, avoid everything that's happened in front of him in the previous 4 cautions. So good for him. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. All side by side, racked and stacked, back up behind that iRacing hybrid pace car. Boy, this is going to be a nail biter for this finish.
I'm on the edge of my seat. I'm a little nervous. I'm a lot excited. We have, you're talking about James Holzer. He's for Team Conti. He's going for the Coca-Cola Series. Very talented driver. I would not be surprised to see him win it out here tonight. Just amazing, the stuff that you see, what he is capable of doing on track. So we'll see how that turns out for him. But Joe Berg, just still excited to see him up here. Tom Flitcroft, as you were saying, still up front. John Honeycutt, Brendan Book, Chuck Cody, Matt Burgess. We're getting ready to go green with these guys.
Eliza, are you surprised that Berg chose the outside as we get ready to go back green, or should he stayed on the bottom with that big push from John Honeycutt?
You know, it depends on who's out there with him and how much he trusts them. Or does he have a deal with somebody else down low? We're about to find out, but he may get that enough momentum that he's going to say, you know what? I'm slipping it down low, but he is going to hang out outside. He's got Tom Flitcroft behind him. And I knew he was going to bring it low. Tom, he's got his teammate down there. He's going with his teammate.
Absolutely, I would too. The 50 of John Honeycutt not letting loose of the back bumper of the 17 of Holzer. Holzer a little squirrely, able to hold on to it though. The man's got a really good rig, very, very steady hands. Another one that can pilot just about everything. Holzer not letting go of Flitcroft's back bumper. Flitcroft back right where he's very, very comfortable.
That is a lot of movement from these drivers. So many back and forth. Where are you going to go? We got the 84 right into a car. We have so many cars trying to miss that. That's going to be Jacob Locklear involved and another driver. I couldn't catch who that was up there, but man, oh man. We have another caution. 3 laps to go. 3 wide racing at Daytona is extremely difficult to pull off.
It wouldn't be right to not have a green-white checker to finish out the season opener here at Daytona for Season 3. Man, if you're just now checking in, just like Polish Hammer, you're checking in at a great time. The intensity has just been ramped up, and these guys are holding no prisoners. It's all out.
Yeah, you see the 84 just gets hooked, and not much you can do about that. That's just way the cards play out sometimes. Another FTR driver gonna join Jordan McGraw out on pits.
84 into the outside wall, and a few others as well with just nowhere to go. Very, very unfortunate. But how about that 5 of Brendan Book sitting P5 right now? P4, excuse me. That man has pushed more cars to the front this evening than I think anybody else has. He hasn't been able to hold on to the lead for the most part for himself, but when he has been out front, he's been pretty strong.
Absolutely. A lot of these drivers, no surprise here that they are hanging out front. Some of these drivers are conservative, and then you have a mix like Brendan. I feel like he can be very conservative. He'll play it straight. But Tom Flitcroft, very aggressive. James Holzer, very aggressive when need be. John Honeycutt, another aggressive driver. So I'm curious how Brendan will fare when he's out here amongst these aggressive drivers. We also have Matt Burgess, Matt O'Brien, who is not as aggressive as some of these other drivers. So kind of a good mix, but yeah, a lot can happen in these final laps.
Absolutely. These teammates going to restart on the front row. The 50 of John Honeycutt with the 5, another C Motorsports teammate with first and second, and then of course, like you just said, the 12 of Matt Burgess up 29 spots right now, sitting P5. Matt O'Brien, he didn't want to do any kind of fuel mileage racing. He wanted to just be able to go all for it. Well, let's see if he ramps up that intensity for himself and tries to grab himself a W or at least a podium. And again, great to see Matt O'Brien back with Shake and Bake.
Absolutely. All right, chat. I want to hear from you. Who do you have winning? Do we have Tom Flitcroft, James Holzer, John Honeycutt, Brendan Book? Who is your driver? Who are you going to see win tonight?
Or do they come from beyond there?
That's true. It could be anyone. You never know. These guys could wreck, and on the final lap, and out comes Jimmy Cocker in 8th, or Brian Pizzikimi in 9th, and they get the win. You just never know. Welcome to Super Speedway Racing.
Welcome aboard. There you go.
You're in for a ride. We knew it.
What in the banana sandwiches kind of evening has this been, Eliza? I tell you.
It's
Oh,
been
I
a
had to
heck of
steal
a
it. I had
season
to steal it
opener.
from you. I can't
uh,
do it. There's nobody that can do it like you.
oh my gosh. All right. Mr. Gaiman says Hunter Johnson or anyone from Output Racing. I mean, solid choice. These guys all have speed out there. Output is going to include Matt Burgess, Hunter Johnson, Thomas Harmon, and Brian Pizzakemi. Great choices.
Absolutely. Brian Pizzakemi right now sitting P9. Jimmy Cocker right in front of him. Joe Berg, Matt O'Brien, Matt Burgess, Brendan Book, John Honeycutt, James Holzer, Tom Flickroft. That is going back up the order from 9th on up with Jose Ruiz to round out the top 10. The first of 3 green-white checkers, ladies and gents. The 7th caution of the evening. Pace car is going to go ahead and pull off soon. We're going to go back green. Will we have just the one attempt at the green-white checker, or will we have multiple? Eliza, we're about to find out who grabs the checkers this evening, and is it checkers or wreckers for some?
We are indeed. We have Blue Husky says the number 50 machine. Big Papa Bear says 850-17 will be 3 wide for a photo finish. I like where you're going with that.
Yeah, kind of reliving a little bit of an Atlanta.
Atlanta, yeah. How about that race though? That was a really good one.
Yeah, that was. I was watching somebody on I think it was TikTok just, come on, Bush, come on, Bush, come on, Bush. Yeah, come on.
Look at these cars lagging back in the back of the field. They don't want any of this chaos.
Nope, they want to slip their way right through, grab the W, call it a night, and move on to Vegas.
Top 10 are just looking to stay on it, stay aware of any chaos ensuing right in front of them. They'll have to stay alert for it. But like I said, you have to be methodical. You can't just, put your car wherever you want to go, because guarantee you're not the only one going for that position. So we'll see what they can do, but these guys are lined up, stacked up, ready to go.
The spotter's about to get very, very busy. Pace car's going to go ahead and make that hard left. We're going back green first. Green, white checker attempt. And green flag is out. Let's go.
Green flag out. What's it gonna be, guys? Thomas Flitcroft out, leading the field. John Honeycutt coming into the inside. Not going to have enough momentum. It looks like a lot of these guys went to the outside. They're going to be helping Tom possibly go down low to take that lead. 17 teammate, 5 is a teammate. They're going to hang out high. Will Matt O'Brien try to get clear, make his way in front of John Honeycutt? That high side, all the momentum right now.
Yeah, all the momentum. I mean, we're talking like 6, 7 cars deep.
Here we go.
Looks like the 11
Woo!
getting a little squirrely on the bottom, trying to pull it low. Not quite clear, or so it would seem. And now they're 3 wide behind, Evan Knopp.
Scary situation, 3 wide. These guys are starting to really make some moves, and that is when things can happen. 3 wide at Daytona, you guys know it does not always turn out great, so they're going to try to make it 2. John Honeycutt says, forget that, I'm going back 3.
Yeah, back 3 in the middle right now. That's going to put Jimmy Cocker a little bit further back, and we got more movers and shakers in the middle, but just nowhere to go. All the momentum, like you said, Eliza, with the white flag lap. The 8 of Tom Flitcroft leading. Does the 17 of James Holzer stay at his backside? Here's the 5 of Brendan Book. So teammates, 1, 2, 3. Brendan Book looks like he's going to bring it on down low. Eliza, the finish is all yours.
The finish is coming up, and Tom Flitcroft, he's getting a huge push by James Holter. It looks like he is going to take it, but we have a huge wreck going on. Coming to the tri-oval, it is Tom Flitcroft. Back-to-back Daytona wins. Huge congratulations to him. James going to bring it home in 2nd. Brendan in 3rd. John Honeycutt in 4th. Jacob Locklear possibly 5th, as we have carnage on the front stretch.
Yeah, carnage on the front stretch. Cars everywhere. Behind Jacob Locklear is going to be Rivers Jones, Matt Burgess, Matt O'Brien, Cody Kalinka, Drew Zapp. And that's going to be the top 10. Brody Falliker and Joe Berg for the top 12.
All right, let's see if we can get the top 3 in here. It's going to be easy. Only one chat to bring them in here with, but man, oh man. What a race for these guys. We'll see. Get them in chat here. Tom celebrating back-to-back wins at Daytona. And I believe we need Brendan Book. We'll get him in, but what a race for these guys. Tom, huge congratulations to you. I see you celebrating out there. Back-to-back Daytona wins, season 2 and 3 Daytona winner. How you feeling?
I don't know what to say. I didn't. The race was unfolding too easy. Like it just was not that it was easy. It was just I didn't think I'd be in the lead that long. And then they were saving gas behind me, and it was kind of like being a sitting duck. So at one point, we kind of did the Daytona 500 thing, just saving gas out front. And luckily they wrecked anyway, so we didn't have to worry about it. But holy crap, I can't believe it.
Did you have a strategy going into tonight, or you were just trying to play it by ear, see what happened on track?
I just wanted to stay up front the whole time. If you can stay up front, you just have a better chance of being able to survive. I feel like once you get stuck in the back, it's a little sketchy at times, as I'm sure. I don't know what'll happen for the wrecks and stuff. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the replays and rewatch the stream, but I'm literally shaking. I don't know, Frozen. I don't know what the hell to say.
You were strong. You held it up front the entire race. So, you're definite contender for the win. You had teammates out there by your side. James Holzer pushing you, help you get you there. So huge congratulations to you. Second Daytona win in a row, and I hear an engine blow.
That'd be me.
Yeah, no, that was great. Huge shout out to James Holzer and Brandon Book and Micah and Cody Kalenka out there. We worked together really well. You saw that last time at Talladega, so it's just great to be able to come home and be able to duke it out between us and just let it play out that way. I'm super lucky. I need to go buy a lotto ticket.
You did great, Tom. Congratulations on the win tonight out front, and you made it happen. So congratulations.
Yeah, thank you guys for putting on. I can't wait to go back and watch the replay and watch all the good racing that we had. So thank you guys for putting on a great show and giving us a place to race. I love it, man. Thank you guys.
Congrats, Tom.
Yay, Tom. Good job.
FB, I forgot about you, man. We did it.
There you go.
All
sir.
right,
There you go.
Pete. You want to give an interview to Mr. James Holzer?
Absolutely. Holzer, you got caught up in a little bit of an incident very, very early, right around lap 12, and coming to the second to last caution or so, you found yourself in P2 right back up amongst the everybody else that had a great chance at a podium or possibly catching the first checkers. Walk us through your rebound to your P2 finish.
Yeah, I really don't know. This thing, as Kyle Busch said, was a wreck bucket. Can't say on stream. I couldn't even get to Tom to push him. He had to drag brakes so I could get there. Yeah, we got caught in an incident. Got some wheel damage early. Wasn't too bad. About 2 minutes. Like it was like 30 seconds required, 2 minutes optional. So got majority of it fixed. Felt pretty good still overall. Then lost the draft. Got up in another wreck. Got another 3 minutes, and then fixed some of it. Got caught up in another wreck. Got 2 minutes in, and we just decided to fix the car the rest of the way because it was really bad, and lost a lap there, and then didn't get the lucky dog the first big wreck, and then got it the second one, and came down and got some tires, and just kind of made our way through. Was working with Wisdom there to try to get up there because I know he's always up front and contending for these things.
Yep.
And we made our way back up to the front, and then that caution happened where there was a lap car on the top, and just barely juked down in time to misclip my right front and break in the wheel again. And was able to hold on P2, but like I said, car wasn't really good, so needed somebody in front of me to help push to get them to a win, and obviously was going to work with Tom there at the end. But usually these super speedway things don't go my way, but back-to-back Daytona 500s, 1-2 for me and Tom. So glad we were able to get together there and do things the right way and push off to a win, and Brendan got P3, so not on the team, but we're always going to be out there as alliances working together, and it was awesome to execute that and put together a good points day for a lot of the C Motorsports guys.
Yeah, C Motorsports at one point of the race was actually occupying the top 4 spots. So great execution by the team. Looking forward to next week, Las Vegas Motor Speedway. I know that's where a lot of people say the real series or the season is beginning. It's kind of putting a lot back into the hands of the drivers. What do you foresee for the 17 next week and in the coming season?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know really what to expect yet. Supposedly going to be on a part-time schedule, but I knew I was going to come racing and miss it. So, um, we're, we'll probably be here next week. But it's still going to be pretty pack dependent, draft dependent. Should be pretty multi-groove. Excited to see how this league will run this year with the new dynamic track. Should make the racing a lot more exciting. Able to run more lanes and not kill the tires off as bad. So should be pretty cool to see. Like you said, though, driver will come out a little bit at Vegas. Still is pretty drafty, though, but should be pretty good. I remember last time the car was a little bit of a handful, so should make it a little bit of fun. And Micah was really good here last time. We were here. I can't remember if it was last year or year before, actually, now thinking about it. But he ended up losing off of a late race caution, but I look for him to be a threat next week from C Motorsports, and a lot of the other guys too, like Brendan and Tom, to be up there as well. But yeah, it should be a pretty good race, and
just
looking
resubbed for
forward
1
to
month.
possibly being a part of it.
Congratulations on your P2 finish and those Team Conti colors that you've got on board. Congratulations, Holter.
Yeah, thanks so much, Pete.
Brash
It's great feedback in the
890
booth.
just
Appreciate everybody
resubbed
that
for
puts
1
us on.
month.
There you go. Eliza, Brendan Book, and that 5 National Guard machine with you.
We got the 5 of Brendan Book, and here I want to give a quick shout out to Lock On Stratus, our
SnB
race
just
control.
resubbed for 1
Came
month.
out here and gave more subs, so thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. That's awesome. Brendan, a strong race for you. We saw you up there pushing
NASCAR
your
Blood
teammates,
just
pushing
resubbed
other
for 4
cars,
months.
leading at some points. How was your race, and how did you make sure you were out there in front at the end?
No, yeah, first I just want to say good to be back in the car. It's been a while, especially for everybody, so great start to the season. But yeah, no, I qualified very bad, so I was kind of concerned a little bit about that, because it can be kind of crazy to start these races, but made my way up there and got with my teammates, with Tom and Micah and Cody and James, and we basically stayed up there the whole rest of the race there. A little bit with strategy, some guys short pitted, and that didn't really work out for them, so they lost their track position. And then just surviving. There was a lot of close calls there, especially for me, and I feel like for Tom too. I know a couple of our other teammates got caught him and stuff, but we kept the cars clean, and we brought it home. Basically 1, 2, 3. I know James technically isn't C Motorsports, but he's still C Motorsports. So, and then I know Micah and Cody had good runs too as well, going until some wrecks there, but it's a good race overall for the team.
Absolutely. Great race for the team. Tom getting back-to-back wins. So, man, oh man, I know he's going to be celebrating tonight. Pete, so much fun to be back in the booth with you once again. I want to thank everyone in the audience for viewing, for cheering on your favorite drivers, being here to support the stream, the drivers, our sponsor, WoodyxCA. You're awesome. All of you guys are rocking it. So I appreciate it. We'll see you next week at Las Vegas. It's going to be a fun one, Pete.
Absolutely cannot wait. See who doubles down and comes home with the checkers then. We'll see.
We shall see. See you guys next week. Same time, same day. Have a great night.